So one of my biggest reader questions is, how do you have time to write all of these books? Hi friends, Kelsey Spelking here. I am a sweet young adult romance author, and I am so excited today to get to talk to you. A little bit background, I am a mom of 3 sweet boys we fostered and adopted.
Hi! Do not look at the diaper, everyone. Do not look at the diaper.
Say hi. Hi. We've also started fostering a sweet 17-year-old girl who is due to have children soon. I've been working a full-time job, and my husband also owns a business, an accounting business. And so for the first time in my life, I have officially settled into full-time writing and parenting, which means that my husband and I are switching off on childcare and working, and our schedule is something we live and die by. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of like how this evolved and how I've developed the skills that I have now that allow me to continue pouring into what is ultimately my passion. Okay, so the first thing is I started writing when I was in college. I was doing graduate study and I had an assistantship, which meant I attended classes, and then 20 hours a week, give or take, I would help grading papers, teaching courses, advising students, and things like that. And so during that time, I would have chunks of time that were free. So I would attend class for 3 hours, and then I'd maybe have a couple of hours in between going to another class. And that time, when I finished with my homework and with my research, I could pour into writing. And so that's something I spent a lot of time doing. I also spent a lot of late nights that I do not spend anymore because Mama needs to get her sleep. So that's really where my writing habit and the love of writing developed and grew into something more professional. And then when I went to get my first job, I had to be really purposeful about finding time. So for example, I might like take my hour, and instead of sitting in the office and chatting with coworkers or going and running errands, I would sit in the break room with my computer and type, or I would go out to my car and type, so I could get that work done and not be distracted by other things going on. I also set specific days and times so that I could write. So for example, when I was on deadline for my book, Road Trip with the Enemy, I would wake up at 6 o'clock every morning and write from 6 to 7 before the boys got up and before it was time to start getting ready and leaving for work. Another thing that I do usually is I have evenings of the week that are dedicated writing time. And so I'm one of those writers that I work better when I have like a big chunk of time to just really dive in and like immerse myself in the story. And so for a while my husband and I would go and have time to write Saturday and Sunday morning. I'd get up at 6 and work until 10 or 9. So my husband had some of the childcare on the weekends, but not wasn't just completely overloaded. And then on Tuesday evenings, I would go and work from 7 p.m. until 11. And that worked great because I could get really focused down on what I needed to do, and I had to stick to my priorities. And so my priorities were writing books, editing books, and getting them to my readers. And so that time I would hold myself accountable to finishing a certain amount of words or editing a certain amount of pages, and I would get it done. And that's something that really helped me. Another thing that helped me was starting a system called the HB90 system. And I discovered this from a YouTube channel that I will link to. It's called Heart Breathings. And what she says is that quarterly planning works best to help you get toward your ideal life. You can set goals for a quarter, and then you can see what progress you made and how the progress you made affected your progress toward your bigger goals. And so I've embraced this, and I really loved it. And a central tenet of this is the Kanban board, where you have 3 sections. One is to do, another one is in progress, and another one is completed. And I will show you a video of that right here so that you can see I have 3 different big goals. Usually my number 1 goal is writing related because that's my big priority in my business. Another goal might be around audience engagement and talking with my readers because you're awesome. And then another goal usually is around either a secondary business project like this course I'm creating around saving your family history or around health, because health is something that's vital to my longevity as a writer. Because tons of writers, like, this is a huge issue in the indie community, is that these writers will sit down and they'll be super productive and they'll write all these books, and then they'll develop hand issues, wrist issues, they'll be burnt out, exhausted, depressed, and not be able to continue writing. And I don't want that. I love writing. I want it to be there for the rest of my life. I want this to be a career that I'm still doing when I'm 90 because I can. All you need is your mind. So longevity is super important to me, and this system, the HB90 system, really helps me to create boundaries around my writing time, because I have a tendency to overwork myself. And I think that's anyone who just really loves the work that they do, is you dive into it wholeheartedly and you have a hard time pulling yourself out of it. And that can mean that the other important things in your life slip, like family time or exercise or health or talking to people on the phone or hobbies. And that's something, laundry, that's something that I've had to reconcile in myself, that I know that's an issue, and it's something that I've continued to work on over time, because no one's perfect. I can only do what I can do, and the good thing is that I have my husband to help keep me accountable. So this is where I'll move into the next thing that is a huge help. My husband is an incredible support system for me. When we met, we were in high school, and we both had such big dreams, and I loved that he always encouraged those dreams and that he was always there to help me discuss them. And he has always been my biggest supporter in my writing. Like, you can do this, you can make a career out of it, your stories are wonderful. He even read a lot of my earlier books. He doesn't keep up with it as much now, but that's just because he's not a big reader. So having a support system, whether it's your husband or your mom or a friend who can cheer you on when you're feeling down or when you need to talk out a story idea, is huge, because that can make all the difference. And even just having someone to watch the kids for a couple of hours, or watch your dog if you don't have children, that can be a big boost to your writing, because you can get in the story and get some words done and continue working. Another thing that's super important is my planner. I live and die by this thing, and my brother actually got me this A5 binder for my birthday this year, which was so sweet. And I have jammed this thing full of all of my plans. I even have like cute little setup in the opening of things that my child has drawn, or like a bookmark that I got with nice words about me, or my Harry Potter pin. It's just something that helps inspire me, and it gets me motivated to see the things that I'm crossing off my to-do list, and it helps me remember, oh, I have this to do today, or I need to get this done tomorrow, or I need to get this to the editor this day. And also remember that you can't work this day because you have this appointment. Just keeping track of all of that and not just letting your schedule kind of dictate you is huge, because if you just go day by day thinking like, oh, well, I can't work today because this is coming up, or I can't work today because this is coming up, it can really halt your progress, and it makes it challenging to build up that momentum, which is crucial to writing a book. The other thing that I think is really big is that I save my ideas and I think about them a lot. I'm always thinking about stories. And so I have this cute notebook that one of my friends gave me, and it has a really lovely quote on it about chasing your dreams and not holding back despite fear and trials. And I think the biggest thing that's helped me write these books is that I truly believe that they matter. I believe that my words matter. I believe that these stories can help people feel heard and loved no matter what they're going through in their lives. And that's important. That keeps me going. That keeps me writing and seeing nice messages from my readers. Like on my latest book, Curvy Girls Can't Date Quarterbacks, I had a reader message me and they said, I'm going through a separation right now, and reading your book helped me believe that there could be love for a curvy girl like me out there. And just like knowing that that story was able to do that for her is huge. And like, imagine what effect that could have on her life, just having that confidence and that hope, because hope is huge. And you know, it's a driving force in our world. And I know that there have been times when I felt hopeless, and that like little inkling of hope where you start to believe like, yes, I can do this, or yes, I'll get through this, is huge. So if I can give that to someone, that's enough to keep me slaving away over the keyboard. So the other thing is is that I love my kids seeing me work. I think it's good that they know that their mom has a passion, and even though it's not traditional, you know, even though I'm not a nurse or a teacher or work in the office every day, that they can still see that I have a dream that I'm following, and that it's all for them. It's all for them to have a better life. It's all for them to see that dreams are achievable. And so knowing that they see me working day after day, and they see me diving into something that truly matters, I hope over time that can help give them the courage to do the same thing, because not everyone's meant for a college degree. Laundry. Yeah, I have a master's degree, and the amount of times I use it in my day-to-day life, not all the time. Not everyone's meant for a college degree. A college degree might not be the most important thing in your career, and that's okay. But I want them to see that if you have a dream, you can learn the things you need to learn, and you can make it happen. So I've been going on for a little bit about this, but ultimately, you know, if something's important to you, you'll make the time for it, even if it's hard. And I believe that if you have a passion, you can do that. So thanks for being here. If you want to check out my books, check out the link in the bio, and I will talk to you soon.